Hey everybody, I'm going to be talking to you about the MLS change that came out yesterday. The Mass Association of Realtors sent out some clarification on a change that the governor made where parts of what we do is considered essential here in Massachusetts. And I'm also going to be talking to you guys about how I feel a lot better than I did yesterday at this time because of the changes that they made to the stimulus bill. Or call it the aid package or whatever you want. But that $2 trillion bill was looking really good over the weekend. Then yesterday morning there was some disappointing news, and then last night they got it right again. So I'm going to be talking about all three of those things as well as some resources that realtors can take advantage of, and I'm going to do that starting in about 2 minutes. I'm going to give people a chance to log on, say hello to some people. And then I will be jumping into all of these topics. Look at this. We have a non-realtor friend, the famous Andy Umina, husband of the wonderful realtor, Miss Darlene Umina. Kim McKean is back. Hello, Kim. Lauren, Deanna, Deborah, Liz, John, Mike. Good to have you, Mike. Lisa, Paul, Susan. Lots of people logging on. Happy to have you all. And like I said, I'm going to be jumping in shortly. We're going to be talking about the MLS change, the notice that Mar sent out at 9 o'clock last night in reference to some adjustments that the governor made. I'm going to try to clarify those. I know that we had associations in the MLS almost contradicting each other yesterday. A lot of people are saying, what is going on here? What am I supposed to be doing with my buyers, my sellers? Can I do an open house? Can't I? Can I show a house? Can't I? I'm going to be talking about that. And I'm also going to talk about why I feel a lot better about our recovery since they seem to have gotten this stimulus bill right. And I'm going to start up in about 60 seconds. So happy to have you all here with me. What camera do I use? A Logitech something. And by the way, someone was nice enough yesterday, I think it was Cheryl, to send me feedback about the sound. And I went back and listened to my video and I was like, Jesus, I sound like I'm screaming. So our wonderful IT guy today logged into my computer, adjusted the mic, and everybody's saying it's a lot better. So I plan on having a good half an hour here with you guys starting in about a minute, or less than a minute. Hey, Catherine, thanks for joining. Yana, Dakota, love Dakota. Scott Jones, good man. Mr. Mark Bellistracci, famous realtor from the Worcester market. Jen Mason, you're on. Kelly. Shannon Johnson, happy to have you with us, Shannon. Going to start real soon. Going to talk about some important things. It's amazing all the confusion that realtors are feeling right now, and my hope is just to help you guys get some clarification. We had a company meeting this morning right here. I sat in the same place and did a company update. And tried to break it down for people, and that was kind of like my practice run for this, and everybody said they were a lot more clear. So my goal after this call is to make things a lot more clear for you guys. No problem, Dakota. I'm happy to do it, and for great realtors like you, you make it easy. Mr. Ralph Bibbo, good man. Let's see. Leslie Stores has joined. Jean, Catherine. I'm here. I'll be here. You guys are going to be sick of me. I don't think anybody's going to watch a Crush It video ever again after this whole mess is over because everybody's sick of looking at me, and honestly, I'm getting a little sick of looking at me. But I'm here to help you guys, and I enjoy doing it. So let's get started. Number one, MLS. There was an email that came out yesterday afternoon. I did know it was coming. If you watched me yesterday, you saw when I said MLS is going to be making an adjustment with respect to temporarily withdrawn. So I think we ought to applaud our MLS for that. They jumped on that very quickly. I had spoken to them about it the night before. They got their board together. Their board agreed. So basically that's easy. To break that one down very simply, if you've got a seller who wants to be on the market, I call it leaving the product on the shelf. I think that's smart. Leave the product on the shelf. Buyers are looking online. I'll tell you something at our company, give you some inside information. To our company yesterday, we started doing more coming soon ads. One of our top agents mentioned it the other day that she's doing it on her properties, and I said, gee, that's a good idea. We should be pushing coming soon ads, even though we remember what I talked about yesterday. I'm going to talk about this again today. This isn't a time for sales. So us realtors, you shouldn't be like trying to push a buyer to buy something or a seller to sell something. But guys, people are cooped up at home. They've got their devices. They want to look at properties. So when Jocelyn said that, I said, geez, that's a good idea. And we pushed it out company-wide. Handful of agents got listings in on coming soons. We have this thing we do, our marketing team. And bang, today the phone's ringing with buyers calling about coming soons. And I thought that was terrific. And remember, that's them calling out, well, calling our realtors, which is great. So anyway, MLS made it so that if your listing is on and your seller doesn't want to show it, or you don't want to show it, or whatever the reason may be, there is nothing wrong with basically pausing showings until after the state of emergency, which we all know is going to be in place at least until the 7th of April. So if your seller wants to keep their product on the shelf so that buyers can see it, there's nothing wrong with you telling people, hey, showings don't start till April 7th or April 8th, or if you want to cheat and say a day early, I don't know. That's up to you. But that is what the MLS put out. That's a rule change that they had. They also went into in light of the pandemic and state of emergency declared by the governor, MLS customers should strongly consider holding off on any in-person open houses and showings. All right, love my friends at MLS, love the board there, love the leader there. I think they probably should have stayed out of that fray, but no big deal. All they're trying to do is update their customers and give advice because they know everyone's crying out for information. So many realtors got that and were like, oh my God, I can't show homes. A good realtor friend of mine out in Worcester, I was messaging with him last night. He says, geez, I had a showing on a new construction that's vacant, and an agent emailed, oh, I can't show it now because MLS said I can't. That's not what MLS said. Don't take it out of context. They said strongly consider. So be careful there. It's not MLS's jurisdiction to tell us realtors that we can't do something, and they didn't do that. I have the email right here on my screen. So keep that in mind. They were only trying to provide direction. Now I'm going to move on to the Mass Association of Realtors email that was sent out last night. And, I thought they did a good job with it. Everybody's doing the best they can to get information out and to update people on kind of where things are at and what they think. And if you read the email from the association, today the Baker administration issued guidance for realtors during the COVID-19 state of emergency. Thank you for your patience as we work toward formal guidance from the state. So I had heard about this yesterday afternoon, knew this was coming out, and we discussed it over text and, tried to make recommendations to the state. I'm involved with government affairs. And Mar went on to say showings and open houses are permitted and are subject to Governor Baker's order limiting gatherings to 10 people or fewer. If open houses are held, they must be limited. It says it again. It says it twice, so that was kind of an accident. But although allowed, Mar strongly encourages members not to host open houses. So there was a lot of realtors that got that and like, what do I do? Like, do I do it? Do I not do it? Let me help walk you through this, okay? It's not as complicated as you think. Number one, the governor, he put out an order for businesses. There's a difference between an order and advisory. The order said businesses that are non-essential cannot be open. Pay attention there. Businesses that are non-essential cannot be opened. He gave an advisory to the public to basically say, hey, stay home as much as you can, right? To put it simply, that's what he was trying to do. So yesterday, they couldn't come out and deem real estate essential, even though Mar and some people were fighting that. I thought that was a little bit of a stretch. I think what the governor did, and by the way, the lieutenant governor was huge on this, what they did, I think, makes sense. They instead added it. So if you scroll down on that Mar email and you click on the link after the FAQ, you'll see, if you go into the link, there's an area that says other community-based essential functions in government operations. They consider parts of what we do to be essential functions. And that's how we fell in this. And if you scroll down after that part, it says what real estate brokerage services are considered essential. Open houses. While open houses are not prohibited, they are subject to the governor's order of limiting gatherings, blah, blah. So there were some people that saw that and some realtors that said, what the hell? Now they're disrupting. Now they're changing things again. What are they doing? Well, guys, you got to understand. The governor put out guidance that it can't be 10 people or more. So he can't come out and say, no open houses. I mean, he could. He's the governor. But he doesn't want to contradict himself. And if he does that, it'll affect 5 other industries. So instead what they did is they said, well, it's not prohibited, but keep it to 10 or less. So they basically legally covered their bases in there. Then they went on to talk about real estate closings. Can continue with social distancing this social distancing thing. It's like, can you imagine people out at bars in 6 months? Whoa, social distance. Whoa. So, hey, like it's going to be hilarious. But anyway, let me move on. Closings can happen. Then it talks about realtor meetings with clients can continue with social distancing for any in-person sorry, I misplaced. Realtor meetings with clients cannot take place at a realtor's brick and mortar place of business. So it can't take place at the office. That's clear. They don't want offices open, all non-essential businesses. That's why they didn't agree to put us into essential, because that would have said that our offices could be open, and they wouldn't agree to do that. And honestly, I agree with them. I think that what they did here is fine. But could take place remotely with social distancing by phone or video. So, realtor meetings. So does this mean, according to the governor, that you can do a listing appointment? Yes, it does. Does it mean that you can do a buyer appointment? Yes, it does. That's what they're clarifying here. Property management firms and landlords are considered essential. Yes, we already clarified that with our property management company. We've had 2 emergency calls that they've dealt with in the last couple of days. But some people read this and they're like, what does it mean? What can I do? All right, let me give you my take on this, and then I'm going to give you my take on why I think what they did is right. Okay? Number one, does this mean that you should run out and schedule open houses? Personally, my opinion, my advice to the public, the advice that I gave to the realtor public, the advice that I gave to our realtors, I don't recommend doing open houses. Doing open houses in the traditional sense doesn't make sense. Now, I've said to you guys 5 times in the last 2 weeks, I love the idea of block showing times with controlled traffic. And I think once we can get back to normal, that's what we should be doing. Okay, there's a group going through at 11 o'clock, a group at 11:15, a group at 11:30. And you take people through in groups of 2 to 4, maybe 5. Don't go over 10. But I think that makes more sense. So open houses as a whole, I don't recommend doing unless you have to. Now, there are people. I talked to other realtor friends, one right here in Watertown, great guy, who he had a seller that was like, I want an open house. I don't care what you think, what the governor says, I want an open house. Yesterday, after I finished, a great realtor friend, works all over the place, messaged me on Facebook and said, Anthony, my seller in XYZ town is insistent that I list the home, insistent that I do the open house. Now, I know there's some realtors hearing this going, that's crazy. I would tell that seller to find someone else. Yeah, really? $1.5 million listing that you've been planning on listing in 4 months? Really? You'd tell them to find someone else? You probably wouldn't unless you're someone that sells 50 of those a year. Okay, let's be realistic here. Let's also remember we have fiduciary duties. I talked to a great realtor friend, Chris, out in the Worcester market yesterday, her and I had this discussion about fiduciary duties, and it's like a fine line to walk. If a seller insists that you do something, you got to do it. So you got to do it within reason and not breaking laws. So, it's a fine line to walk, and I think that by them doing this, they gave us, this FAQ gives us appropriate guidance that tells us what we can do. My recommendation is basically the same. You tell sellers the truth. Hey, if you wait 2 weeks to list, you're not going to be harmed. There is going to be a ton of demand that comes back after that. Not as much as there would have been if it wasn't for all these damn job losses, but there'll be a lot of demand. So the seller's not harmed. Buyers, if they wait a couple of weeks, not a big deal, right? So I don't think that anybody is harmed if they do that. However, there are people who, for whatever reasons, be it financial, personal, maybe they bought something else, maybe they're impatient people, I don't know what it is, that insist on listing sooner. Well, if they do, you can list it. In the realtor community, and I'll say this because I know there's several hundred realtors listening right now, the realtor community should not shame you. Okay, they should not. But I have some advice for you. Don't be going on Facebook and screaming, doing selfie mode. My open house, check it out. Cars everywhere, yeah. Go easy on that. Okay, you're just going to torture yourself and look like a salesperson, and you don't want to be doing that right now. So my recommendation is if you get in a situation where you've got to do one, fine. But if you could, instead of an open house, do a block showing time with controlled traffic, that makes the most sense, okay? So I hope that helps clarify. I also want to talk to you guys about why. There's a lot of people, a lot of really smart realtors in a group I'm in that yesterday said, it's annoying that the governor did this. Why did he do it? Why is Mar fighting for this? Well, there's something you guys have to remember. And I think that all of us, me too, we all lose sight of this sometimes. Us realtors have a major, our business has a major effect on commerce and the flow of money. Every time a home is sold, think about the amount of times that money is exchanged hands, okay? Listing brokerage gets a fee. Buyer brokerage gets a fee. closing attorney collects some money, buyer attorney, on and on, mortgage company, title company, I can keep going and going, moving companies, people buy more, they go to Target, they spend more money on household goods, they go to Home Depot. There are stats out there, there are reports out there over the years that say that every time there's a home sold, a job is created. It might be an exaggeration, but if you think about it, across all industries, it's probably true. It's probably true. So the governor, the lieutenant governor, who I don't always agree with. I mean, the governor, I've had some head-to-heads with him, particularly last year with that damn energy bill and all that. I was on Channel 5, and I'm sure he loved me for that, going against him. But my point is, I understand his position here, and I think he did the right thing. Parts of what we do is essential. I mentioned this yesterday. If you've got a final walkthrough or you've got a something that's affecting a closing, well, we've got to do our jobs, as long as you feel safe. If you don't, maybe have someone else in the office do it, or maybe have the buyer do the home inspection without you there. I mean, let's face it, you don't need to be there. When you go to the doctors because your arm hurts and you get sent down the hall to radiology, does the doctor go with you? Do they hold your hand? Guys, I've been saying for years in our training to our realtors, international realtors, not everybody listens, our realtors do what they want and take what they'd like to, but I've been saying for years, realtors should not go to closings. It's a total and complete waste of time. Closings are for attorneys. Finally, everyone's listening. It took Corona for people to listen to Anthony. I've been saying for years, listing agents should never, ever, ever attend a home inspection for their listing. Okay? You put yourself in a terrible position. You hear about all kinds of things. You find out about all kinds of things that you should never, ever, ever be learning about. And you're getting asked all kinds of questions that you would never get asked if you weren't there. Realtors have a way higher level of disclosure expectation under the law than home sellers do, and it puts you in this odd position. Don't go. Well, now people are doing that. It took Corona. So business can still be conducted, okay? And that's why I want to point out that I'm with the governor on this. I really do think he's right. I think that the lieutenant governor, Karen Polito, I think that they were right in doing this. There are essential functions. And if you read that wording, again, go to the Mara email, scroll down, see the part that says, I'll read it to you word for word, the part that says, click here to view the FAQ issued by the Baker administration. Well, you go in, and it's darn clear. It takes a minute to find it. You got to scroll down. It honestly took me like 10 minutes to find it, but I found it. It's very clear. And you know what I'll do? I'll screenshot this, or better yet, marketing folks, I know some of you are watching. Can you screenshot this part about real estate brokerages and post the image in the comments here so people can see it and jump right to it? Then let's also post this link so that they can get right to it. I want to make it easy on everyone. So that's why the governor did what they did, because they know you stop the exchange of real estate, the trickle-down effect is gargantuan. And that's why they're doing that, okay? That's why they passed the bill about fire inspections, to allow 90 days after for buyers to do them. Remember what I said yesterday, though? I recommend that you still have your sellers get the house in order. Buyers are going to squawk anyway. What do you mean? It wasn't my responsibility when the house went under agreement. Why should I have to do it? Have the seller do it. I think the better message is, hey, my seller got it already. Now you can buy it and just do the inspection later. Although, I know I mentioned this yesterday, City of Boston has turned the switch back on. They're doing inspections. So I wanted to mention that. Another thing that I want to plug again, that bill that is apparently on the governor's desk about allowing virtual notarization. Well, I don't know my words that good. I couldn't spell it either, but I understand it. Okay. Allowing virtual notaries. Critically important that the governor signs that, and that is temporary. Now, remember yesterday I had said to you guys there were a couple of sole practitioner type attorneys who were against it. Well, guess what? I heard from one of them yesterday afternoon that heard me explain it and read up on it and said, I totally misunderstood. You're right. Okay? So we need to get this thing passed. Everybody on here, if everybody on here hung up and called their state senator or their rep from their neighborhood and said, can you get that through? Can you get the bill through that talks about allowing for not only e-filings, but virtual notaries? That's critically important because, guys, here's what I'm worried about. It looks like we're going to medically and from a health perspective probably get to the other side of this in the next couple of weeks. I will tell you, though, I have my doubts when the governor yesterday ends up extending kids being out of school till May 3rd. I mean, you would have thought someone got murdered in the Lamacchia house. I was right here working. My wife starts screaming. I literally go running down the stairs thinking something's wrong. What's wrong? What's wrong? They have school canceled till May 3rd. I'm like, is that a reason to scream? Yes! I'm like, she's kind of right. She's kind of right. Those of you that have kids, I mean, holy God. But I'll tell you, that makes me wonder, do they think it's going to take a month for us to get to the other side of this thing? And with that said, what if, just God forbid, I hope it doesn't happen, what if we end up like New York City or California and they shut us down and we can't leave our houses and they do issue an order to shelter in place? Just think about that. If there's an order to shelter in place, nothing will close if they don't get this virtual notaries signed. We need to get it signed. It's temporary. It says that it is only during the state of emergency. Okay? We need to get it signed. I recommend we all push for that. Do what you can to get that passed. Another thing that I want to mention is where our company, Lamacchia Realty, you guys know I don't usually talk about the company at all on this page, but I want to tell you we're putting out a resource page. And it's going to have all kinds of links to everything that you can think of. There's a quick letter from me. And for those of you broker owners that are watching and other team leaders and stuff, if you guys are, kind of wondering what we're doing with our company or what our message to the public is, go read it. We're going to be putting that link out this afternoon. It has all kinds of blogs. There's a blog in there that talks about the delays that we expect. By the way, I'll take questions in about 5 minutes. So if you guys want to start posting your questions in the comments, go ahead and do that, and I'll finish this thought. Where was I? Oh, we did a blog on like what delays to expect, why they're happening, what your buyer and seller can do for it. Those blogs will help you guys get your clients to do what you want them to do, because we all know clients sometimes can't get out of their own way. That blog is in there. There's a blog in there about showings. There's the news clip from me being on NBC the other night. There's then down the bottom, we have this whole all my videos that I've done on LR on the Lamacchia Realty Facebook page every single week at 3 o'clock. I'm doing updates and I'm doing Q&A until this thing is over, which, God, I hope it's soon. And on the Crush It page, you guys know I'm doing a Q&A and discussion like this every Wednesday at 11. And I was planning on waiting till next week to see you guys again, but all this stuff came up yesterday. So back to what I was saying. There's going to be a lot of resources. Down the bottom, we're putting an entire mortgage section. There's a lot of people that are concerned about paying their mortgages. We put in links to all the major servicers, something like the top 20 servicers of mortgages here in Massachusetts. We put links in with the exact contact information for homeowners to call if they're worried about being behind in their mortgage. I'll tell you guys, as someone with massive experience in helping homeowners who have trouble affording their home, they need to be proactive. You need to tell your clients, your past buyers, your past sellers, you need to tell them if they have any trouble, if they even smell trouble of paying their mortgage because they lost their job, they need to get in touch with their mortgage company, see if they can get a 3-month forbearance, 4-month forbearance, or just some type of stall on their payments. Some of the mortgage companies are doing it. They're not hitting people's credit, nothing. They literally don't have to pay for 3 months. It's fantastic. I can't believe how fast these mortgage companies are adapting. And I think it's fantastic. So that's going to be in there too. So for you realtors, I know some of you don't care about sending the Lamacchia link, but if you don't want to, at least go in and rip off the information for your client and send it to them, because you need to be the resource. Us realtors need to be the leaders. I've said it many times. Do not be selling. Now, there's nothing wrong with talking to your sellers that want to list in a week or two and helping them get ready to list, getting the MLS sheet ready, or listing the home and holding off showings. That's fine. But don't take an attitude with buyers and sellers of, hey, it's business as usual. I heard there was a company saying business as usual. What the hell is usual right now? This is mental. Here I am every day locked in my 3rd floor office talking to you guys every day. There's nothing usual about this, right? So, make sure you're being there for your clients and you're helping them. And you need to help them in all areas, many of which, I got news for you, won't involve you selling a home. They won't. It won't. But so what? Guys, they're our clients. You got to do what's right for them, and we got to help them. So anyway, sorry, I'm like preaching. So anyway, why don't I take some questions? I think I hit all my thoughts. I'm sure I'll think of more. What questions do we have? Yeah, Kim McKean, you wish they'd clarify about home inspections. Well, be happy we have the Massachusetts Association of Realtors, my friend. The home inspectors don't have an association nearly like ours. We have a force. The realtor associations are a force. Okay? So that's good news. Wait, I can't take questions. I promised you that I was going to talk to you about why I feel much better today about our recovery than I did yesterday because of the bill that passed. Let me stand up again. Same thing yesterday. I just can't stay sitting for some reason. All right. So let me explain this. Okay. No doubt in my mind that we are in better shape yet today than we were yesterday. Here's why. Let me take you on the roller coaster ride, and I'm not going to mention either party. I don't want to do it. I don't want to go down a political road. Bottom line, one party proposed a Senate bill over the weekend. Part of that Senate bill had the typical things like unemployment and everything. That particular party also said, we want to have something in there for small business. We want to give small businesses a couple of months. It was 2.5 months, 250% of a 1 month payroll to not lay employees off. The caveat to giving that money is they can't lay people off. They can't furlough people, and the government will give the money. So all kinds of business owners, I'm one of them, was looking into it for 2 days. Many business owners, other companies, I talked to many. All of a sudden, yesterday morning, we wake up, the deal blew up. The other party said, nope, not giving any money to businesses. Instead, give it directly to people. All day I'm thinking, this is insane. They're going to incentivize companies. This is basically incentivizing, motivating business owners to lay people off and let them go collect. When I heard that, I said, we're going to take what is already going to be a terrible unemployment rate. I mean, imagine how sad this is. We had the lowest unemployment rate in history 3 weeks ago. Okay, 3 weeks. Here we are 3 weeks later, 3.3 million unemployment claims were filed last week. This week's going to be worse. So now the unemployment rate's going to go up. Something like for every 1.5 million unemployment claims filed, it raises the unemployment rate 1%. Well, we're going up. So I was very concerned yesterday that they were going to not put the part in for small businesses. I was in touch with our friends at the National Association of Realtors. I'm extremely fortunate to have some great friends there at a high level. And around noontime, one of them said, you and whoever you're talking to, don't furlough any people yet. We're on top of this thing. I'm thinking, yeah? All of a sudden last night, the president comes out, Stephen Mnuchin, all these guys and girls come out and they're doing their presentation with Dr. Fauci, who, by the way, that guy's going to get like a, I don't know, some kind of award. I mean, that guy's like, America's fallen in love with him. The guy's the best. But anyway, he comes out, they all come out, and they start talking about how they got the small business part in. I'm thinking, what? By 7 o'clock, the Senate put out the final draft that they agreed to, that they were going to vote on. I heard from our bank. I connected with multiple other business owners. I'm reading the draft. It's back in there. So now companies are going to have an incentive to keep people on the books. We're kind of like, the bank's like the intermediary. Many companies are going to take advantage of this. So I feel a lot better. Now, it's in the House today. And we all know the two parties in the House love to fight. So could it totally get screwed up and maybe back tomorrow? Yeah. I don't think so, though. I'm hearing that it's looking better. And I will tell you, the National Association of Realtors, guys, I don't get paid to help them. I don't get a thing to talk them up. I only do it for realtor education. They worked wonders yesterday. And I'm not trying to say it was just them, okay? There's a retail association. Everybody's beating the hill right now, Capitol Hill, getting lawmakers to put the right things in. But the National Association was instrumental. They were in helping small business. They were also massively instrumental in making sure that 1099 independent contractors, like most of you watching, could collect unemployment, okay? If it wasn't for NAR, you wouldn't be able to do that, but they made it happen. We are the largest trade association in the United States of America, and they have the second largest lobbying team in the country, and they attacked the Hill. They had people at the White House the last few days. They're all over this thing, okay? So when you pay those dues at the end of the year, think about that. So that's why I feel a lot better. Do I still think we're going to have high unemployment? Yes. Do I still think we're going to hit a recession? Yes. Do I still think there's going to be less buyer demand? Yes. I will tell you, when the switch turns back on, though, in a couple of weeks, I think we'll initially see a rush of demand because people are going to be like let out of their homes. Hopefully that demand will last a couple of months. but I do think we're going to feel it. We're going to feel it. I do think La La Land is basically over. I said that yesterday. It's at least temporarily over. So we got to deal with it, and you got to make sure that you understand what's happening in the market. You need to make sure that you know how to counsel a seller on pricing, on price adjustments. There's several things that you have to be ready for in a softer market. And guys, I will be doing endless trainings, endless videos. I'll tell you guys a secret, right? Real big secret on here. We do an annual winter event. And this year we did it at the Sheraton in Framingham, and we had 700 realtors from across the state show up. We weren't planning on doing anything until next January, but if this market goes real bad in the next 3 months, I'm going to do one in the summer, and the whole thing is going to be based on how to survive as a realtor in a changed market. But I want to see what happens. I have a feeling I might be doing that. But either way, we'll deal. So let's take some questions. Let's see what you guys put for comments. So Bill said, should we create a disclaimer to absolve ourselves of responsibility for visitors? So, all right, at our company, we created a couple of emails for our agents to use to email sellers to mention, if someone in your home is sick, if someone in your home has traveled outside the country, if they feel any symptoms, please tell us. If we delay listing your home a couple of weeks, you will not be harmed. It's important to tell people that. So we're doing it by email. I know the Mass Association came out with a good form. I'm not going to get into giving legal advice to realtors, but I think as long as you're being clear with people and you're also follow your own broker owner's direction. I mean, most of the people watching here are not in my company. So I don't want people to go do something and say, oh, Anthony Lamacchia in a Crush It video from the 3rd floor in his house said blah, blah, blah. Like, no. I'm just giving you guys my opinions, my thoughts, and trying to help you guys. But you have your own broker owners, many of you, that you need to talk to, and you can get your own legal advice. Lauren, thank you for posting that. Carol, good job sending the emails. I know, Rich Rossi, I'm dying to stand up and pace around. I mean, buddy, you know me. You've had dinner with me. I can only sit so long. I mean, this is not easy for me. Hey, Levi, I hope you're good, my friend. I hope you're doing well. Levi's a tremendous vet. Guy was a Green Beret. He has a fantastic company down in San Antonio, Texas. We've been friends for 5 years. The guy's awesome. Oh, can't post an image in the comments. What do you mean, Lindsay? I'll show you how to do it. He's got to take a screenshot, size it, post it. Let's see here. What other questions do we have? What about appraisals? All right, Sandra Ciccone, good question. I have heard some appraisal companies point blank saying, we're closed till April 7th. We don't want our appraisers going in the homes. Well, if that's what they do, that's what they do. But I think that you need to do it on a case-by-case basis. Some appraisers are working, some aren't. I also think, like I said, that we don't need to attend everything anymore. I mean, it's nuts. I've been saying this for years. People are finally listening. Us realtors don't need to go to every goddamn thing. It's like realtors wake up and say, how many things can I attend today? It's mental. So we'll see with appraisals, case-by-case basis. Remember what I said in the last 3 Crush It videos. Use extensions. Use extensions. Right now, you just need to get your buyers and your sellers 2 weeks out. 2 weeks out. That's all you got to get. You're right, Sarah. Our packs of force. Glad I was in Miami a couple of weeks ago meeting with some of those people I communicated with yesterday. Okay, Angela's asking, do we have any info yet on how unemployment for agents would work practically? Okay, so couple things. I don't know how far I want to go into this, but part of the bill talked about some companies being able to do the same thing with agents as employees. We're clarifying that. We have lawyers and accountants looking at it in addition to my reading it all morning. But also I read that realtors, well, I'm positive that realtors, independent contractors, can call and apply for unemployment. Exactly how to do it, I'm not sure. You could just call the unemployment line here in Massachusetts or whatever state you're in. I'm not sure, Angela, but I'm happy to have you here. I will tell you guys, my marketing team, I know they're listening, and this is newsletter week, so they're loving me this week. But we are going to, I told you guys that we're creating a resource page for buyers, sellers, landlords, tenants, basically for consumers. And that's going to be housed on the Lamacchia Realty website, and we're going to post that link and let you guys know about it so you can find information. We're also, this is probably going to take till Monday because the marketing team is bombed. We're also going to create a realtor resource page. Yes, Lindsay, love you. Realtor resource page for dealing with coronavirus and real estate. And we're going to put all kinds of information in there to help realtors navigate through this. And that will be housed on our crushitinre.com website. Realistically, we're probably talking Monday afternoon, maybe Tuesday before that thing is out because we've got a lot going on. Okay, so Frank says you talked about possible pent-up energy and demand when we get on the other side of this. What does that actually look like? Okay, masses of people looking at properties, open houses that are completely overrun, which is I think is going to initially make realtors be like, wow, it's over, like everything's perfect. Yeah, that'll be within the first few weeks after things start to get back to normal. But I have a hard time believing that we're not going to see some reduction in demand by summer. I think it'll become very noticeable. I think you're going to see some craziness for a few weeks. Now, AJ Bruce says, my appraiser friend said she got the call. She is essential. Wow, that's interesting. Good job, AJ. You just helped us update. AJ is one of our top realtors in the company, President's Club member. Sorry, AJ, we couldn't go to Aruba this week. We were supposed to be in Aruba this week, and we couldn't. We're going the end of October. We're not going to miss that. But anyway, not surprised to hear that appraisers were deemed essential. And I think that that's necessary because, guys, without appraisers, remember, real estate transactions can't happen, and that flow of commerce, that flow of money gets completely interrupted. All right, what is this? Jamie Kahn, I'm hearing desk appraisal for loans under 700 this AM from Guaranteed Rate. Yes, so they're going to be allowing more drive-by appraisals, more desktop underwriting reviews. It's great. Yeah, Lindsay, you have plenty of job security. You don't need to worry, my friend. Let's see. What other questions do you guys have? I don't want to stay on forever. I think I've done enough, and I think you guys are probably getting tired of me. I can take one more if someone has one. Thank you, Eileen. Happy to. All right, my friends. I'll say the same thing I've said at the end of every video. No matter what happens, we'll get through this. Real estate always survives, okay? You know, I've talked to a couple other business owner friends, and I think I told you guys this yesterday, and I felt bad talking to a couple who were like, but I'm worried my business, the business of blah, 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 like people don't spend money when they're not feeling good. And I felt a little guilty because, guys, no matter how bad it gets, there's always people buying, there's always people selling. Always. Okay? So we as a country will get through this. I will bet on America every day of every week. I noticed a video yesterday when I said that, and there's my flag right there. That actually flew over the Capitol, and I bought it at a fundraiser about 8 years ago. So in any event, we'll get through this. Real estate will get through this. Us realtors will get through this, okay? And I'll see you soon. Thanks, guys.